Hello race fans and welcome to the Baku City Circuit here in Azerbaijan for qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 2022 has been delivering some cracking racing this year, and let's see if this chaotic venue can deliver just like the last four races have. Let's head into our practice report for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Keita Watanabe looks very good around this circuit, hoping to do perform better than he has in previous races. Yuki Tsunoda looks to be struggling, on the other hand. Keita Watanabe is still in practice 2 with 7th and topped the session in practice 3, while Tsunoda was down in 13th. So there's a huge disparity gap in terms of car comfort for both the drivers. Heading into the setup, again, very high downforce, but be aware that a long DRS straight will mean that top speed is nominal. There was engine problems in terms of upgrades for Toyota, but they managed to fix that, along with a durability upgrade for the weekend for the MGU-H, but they're still only the 6th best car on the grid, so they've got a lot of ground to make up if they want to get back to that best of the rest spot in the field. And news from the last weekend saying that Keita Watanabe will have to take a gearbox penalty due to unscheduled wear on his previous one. Here goes Keita Watanabe down the long start-finish straight. He's been looking very good from practice. Can he carry that momentum? And he does. He tops the session at 138.675, and that he doesn't need to go again. So there we go. Keita Watanabe down to 5th, but very, very close to the top runners. So this could be a track where hopefully he can regain some of that lost form that he had in the first two races and get back in his championship fight. But Yuki Tsunoda, once again, the struggles continue for the Japanese driver. Keita Watanabe, once again, down the long start-finish straight. He is using the medium tires, so hoping to maybe start the race on the mediums, which would be a good strategic advantage. But what time is it? And it's only good for P15. Here he goes. Purple first sector, green second sector. He's almost 3 seconds up on his previous lap time, but he's on the softs. What is the time? And it's top. He tops the session. Really good for him. However, both Mercedes and Max Verstappen managed to qualify on the medium compound tire. That is surely going to play into strategy, so Watanabe will have to have a lot of pace, and Tsunoda is out in P15. Again, down the long start-finish straight for Keita Watanabe. And it's good for P3. Vettel topping him. That's a surprise result. Here he goes. Purple's first sector, green second once again. He's only up by 7/10 though. Opening DRS, and he's down just a long run down. Can he just keep the speed up? Can he gain a little more time? He's lost a bit of time. He crosses the line. Where's it going to put him? P3. With the leaders ahead of him, both the front row is again going to start on the medium compound tire. So Watanabe is going to have to make some moves. But if that engine penalty, he'll be starting down in P8, and the McLarens can convert on their early form. Welcome along, folks, to the streets of Azerbaijan, Baku, here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A chaotic venue. It came in the calendar for the European Grand Prix, but ever since it's been rebranded as the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we've had some chaotic races, some high drama, and some amazing racing around this venue. So let's see what the streets of Baku have to offer once again. And here we go on this unique street circuit, going from the high speed, start-finish straight, the long stretches, the 90-degree corners, and who can't forget the iconic castle section in Sector 2. Tight, technical, and a challenge for the drivers. High speed, and of course, many overtaking opportunities if you have the guts to pull the move off. I can't wait to see what we got in store for us. Let's see what we can do this weekend. And there is a lot of stuff to look forward to. Once again, the Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton again on the front row of the grid. Verstappen with the championship lead this time around. But Keita Watanabe very close to the leaders on pace, but an unscheduled gearbox change means that the Toyota driver will be starting further back on the grid in P8. So what can the Toyota do? Can he convert the pace on the soft tires early enough to get by Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen and start chipping away at that championship gap? We'll have to wait and see, but there are tons of fast cars ahead of him as well, and without a teammate to really help him on the far side of the grid of Yuki Tsunoda down the order, this is surely going to be quite a fight to see if he can stay in this championship fight. Let's see what's in store. Here's the starting grid for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the Baku City Circuit. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, this is the 4th time in 5 races that we've had this front row, and they look to be on top of their game, hoping to fight for the 2022 title. Valtteri Bottas P3, Vettel 4th, Perez 5th, and Lando Norris starts in P6. Daniel Ricciardo 7th, Keita Watanabe the gearbox penalty in P8. Leclerc 9th, and Fernando Alonso finishes in top 10 once again. Lance Stroll 11th, Gasly 12th, Sainz 13th, Giovinazzi 14th, and Yuki Tsunoda 15th. Kimi Raikkonen in 16th place. Esteban Ocon 17th, Marino Sato 18th. Mick Schumacher 19th, George Russell 20th, and Latifi and Mazepin once again fill the back of the grid. And here we go. Here's your starting grid for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Let's see what this race has to offer as the drivers get ready for another cracking race. 5 red lights here at the starting grid at an overcast day here in Baku. What's gonna be? It's lights out, and away we go. And the Red Bull Max Verstappen gets a lightning start compared to the Mercedes Lewis Hamilton, and so does Kato Watanabe. He's gonna dive on the inside. Oh, he's made contact with Vettel. He's made contact with Vettel as Fernando Alonso tries to go up the inside in a risky dive bomb. Here goes Kato Watanabe trying to fend off the position. He gets in front of Vettel. Oh, and he forces Vettel into Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo almost goes into the wall, and that is a Constantino effect. And once again, but Kato Watanabe, he makes up some places. Let's look at this race start. As you can see, the Toyota gets off pretty well. The McLarens get off way better, though, and he gets swamped by Alonso. But, yeah, I mean, there's the gap there. It would have been good, but he didn't see Alonso and the Alpine coming out of nowhere, taking up that little space, and that gap just closed right away. And there's some chips in that front wing. Here goes Sebastian Vettel. This is the move. See, once again, similar to what happened to Alonso. He saw some space, so it quickly closed, but Vettel had to get out of the way. But with Daniel Ricciardo on the right side, not really much space to maneuver. So the Australian is so lucky to not have a front tire shear off. Here comes Valtteri Bottas closing in on Sergio. Oh! That's Bottas is out. He's out of the race. He's got an engine failure. Valtteri Bottas is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and that's 3 non-point scoring finishes. His second DNF in 5 races. He's closing on Verstappen, so he has the pace, but this is not what the defending 2021 champion needs.
Guys.
And that is a very dejected Valtteri Bottas, rightfully so. And here comes Sebastian Vettel. He's closing in on the Toyota of Kato Watanabe. He's closing. He's going for the gap on the left side. Kato Watanabe is going on the left. He's trying to, oh my god, there's contact. And Kato Watanabe, I think, was trying to get into the pit lane, but his team didn't communicate that Vettel was right alongside him. And I don't think Aston Martin told their driver that Watanabe was going to pit. There's no inclination. So that's seriously going to create some animosity between the two. And that's severely not only slowed and the slow pit stop is not going to help his slow pit entry. And now Watanabe is coming out in the pits towards the back of the grid. Fernando Alonso way down the order, probably a wing change due to the contact on lap 1. And now he's closing in on Nicholas Latifi. He gets DRS. He's close enough for DRS, and he's closing. Here he goes. Down the in. He's going to go around the outside with the DRS, and he gets the move done before the corner. Great move. And now with these fresh medium tires, he's going to have to really put the power down. Here's the replay. Here's Sebastian Vettel. As you can see, Watanabe almost kind of loses it out of that high-speed S's section of 18 and 19. And now down the long start-finish straight, you can see Vettel. He's coming on the inside. There is a gap there. Watanabe, he should have closed it deeper, but I don't think he knew where he was.
What a dickhead. I mean, seriously, what a dickhead.
Yeah, clearly Aston Martin didn't communicate with Vettel. Now closing in, deploying tons of batteries, closing to the Haas of Nikita Mazepin, and this should be an easy overtake for the Toyota driver. Mazepin tries to defend on the inside, but there's no stopping that electrically fast Toyota as he beats them before turn 1. And now he's closing up, and there comes one of the McLarens out of the pit lane. Is Daniel Ricciardo on fresher medium tires, but they're not going to be warmed up or gripped to the track. So Watanabe is going to have a great run out of the second corner, opening DRS. He's closing on the McLaren. The McLaren is helpless to stop. But here comes the braking zone. He's got to brake. Ricciardo sees the gap. He's going to go for it. Oh, he hits the wall. He hits the Toyota. How has he not got damaged? That was a severe impact. And Ricciardo is somehow still in this race. Look at the replays. You can see here. There is a gap, but Watanabe closes it. Hey, how did he not break off at least a bit of the wing?
Yuki's in the pits. Yuki in the pits.
Now here comes some drivers pitting up ahead as Watanabe crosses the line. He's putting up some really good sector times as he closes on the Williams of George Russell now, who's flying high but probably hasn't pit yet. So Watanabe now closing up through turn 2, hugging that apex very well, opening the ERS deployed, and he's closing. This should be an easy move. He should get this well before the corner, unlike the move with Daniel Ricciardo. And there we go. That's a simple move from Watanabe, and now he closes on to the points once again with Lando Norris his next target. Here goes Mick Schumacher in P9. The Haas driver has not pit yet in this race, but he's got 2 electrically fast cars of Sergio Perez and Lando Norris behind him, who have just pit for fresh medium tires. Here we go. The DRS, the slipstream effect around the straight is electric. It's 3 wide heading to turn 1. This is going to play perfectly into Watanabe's hands as he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix for good measure. Here goes Perez, going to go down the inside of Mick Schumacher, and all this fighting, all this jockeying for position has let Watanabe into the party as Perez goes down the inside of the Haas, but Watanabe just go around the outside of Lando Norris. There's 2x2. There's slipstream available for these two as they go down towards turn 3. Watanabe seems to get the grip, but there's no way for him to go as as Mick Schumacher closes him out, Lando Norris closes him out too, but he's very close. Does he dare for a move into turn 4? He does. He clatters the curb. They're still alongside of the McLaren. This is a cracking fight. The McLarens have shown pace all weekend, but Watanabe is pulling every ounce of pace out of the Toyota through the S's of turns 5 and 6, and he gets the move done. Electric racing. Here he goes. Norris is closing in on the Toyota driver. Does he have DRS? He does. He has DRS on Mick Schumacher. And if he could put that Haas between himself and the quicker McLaren, he's surely going to have some bit of respite from the McLaren driver. And he does down the outside. It's a little wide for the Toyota driver, but he just manages to keep it on circuit. And now that Haas is going to be a roadblock. Now on the next... down towards the start-finish straight. Lando Norris is very close. He's trying to look for a gap. Watanabe squeezes him out on the right, but Lando Norris is going to go on the left. He's trying to, can he do the same thing he did with Mick Schumacher with Raikkonen? He's going to go down the inside this time. He breaks, and he goes, and that's too late. It's too late. He's off the track. He's almost into the wall. Oh, there's contact between him and Lando Norris, and there's an end plate. That's an end plate for Kato Watanabe. He's got wing damage with Lando Norris. He's surely going to have to do an early pit stop. This is throwing his race completely in the mud, and now he's trying to get a little bit of revenge on Lando Norris. He's probably to be a bit of animosity between these two drivers as Watanabe goes down the inside into turn 3. He somehow gets the car turned with a broken front wing, but that is surely a spanner in the works for his race as he will have to pit and go further down the grid. Let's look at this replay. As you can see, Watanabe just overshoots it on the inside. He tries to match his braking point of what he did with the outside maneuver, but on the inside there's less distance between the turn-in, and so he just overshoots it. But as you can see, that Emirates flag, that wall is protruded, so he has to rejoin the track if he doesn't want to shear a tire off. But unfortunately, Lando Norris is just at the wrong place at the wrong time. So I think that's a racing incident. It's a bit of a dangerous re-entry there, but he had no choice, as you can see from this wing cam. He had nowhere to go. He had to rejoin the track, otherwise hit the wall. And the McLaren actually loses the end plate too. So Lando is going to be very, very upset with the Toyota driver because he will have seen him as ruining his race as well, not knowing the circumstances.
I got damage, guys. I need a box. I got wing damage. Okay, understood.
And there goes Watanabe into the pit lane. Such an unfortunate. And this is surely, if Monaco and Spain were not an indication that his championship is over, surely this is another case. Because Lewis Hamilton looks like to be in command of this race, with Max Verstappen closing up. And those two are going to get some very good points to their campaign. And here goes the front wing change for Kato Watanabe. The first one. Remember, in the last 3 races, Watanabe has had to change the front wing. Although 2 of those 3 times, they weren't scheduled stops. The team obviously found something in the data that said they should change. But obviously this time around, it was very obvious. Here he goes, closing in on the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo for 17th place. He's got 13 laps to try and fix some of the damage that's been incurred this race. So it's around the outside, and that's a textbook overtake. He's closing in on the Haas of Mazepin. He's going to go dive down the inside of turn 2 at the 90-degree corner. There's a beautiful move around the Haas driver, although he still has hard compound tires. He's closing in on Mick Schumacher now. Schumacher, he hasn't pit yet in this Grand Prix, and now he's closing in on the Haas. DRS wide open. Schumacher tries to defend the inside, but Watanabe gets the move done well before the corner, and he just manages to find some grip, and now pace can be unleashed on the Alfa Romeo. There goes Sebastian Vettel into the pit lane, so Watanabe will make up at least 1 place, but now he's closing in on Kimi Raikkonen. This surely is going to be an easy move for the Toyota driver. Raikkonen is already pit for his hard compound tires, but Watanabe is going to try. He gets a bit of a wiggle through turn 2. Now with the DRS wide open, he's going to closing on the Alfa Romeo. He's very, very close. Deploying some battery. He's going to go down the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. The last time he put an outside move, it didn't go well, but that is easy textbook move. He gets the car under control, and that's Watanabe, the P12. Easy money. And there we go. Sato pits, so Watanabe only has Esteban Ocon to negotiate for points. And now his teammate Yuki Tsunoda is in the pits. Tsunoda managing to regain some positions, but he's going to have to fight very hard to regain any lost places to try and get back into the points. But Watanabe now, his target in clean air is Esteban Ocon. Here goes Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is in the pits, and he's pitting again along with Antonio Giovinazzi, and they're going for soft compound tires. And if they appear behind Watanabe, who's back in the points, but this is surely just going to be a defensive battle now, because those soft tires compared to Watanabe's worn hards are going to be electric fast. Here's Watanabe. He's already under pressure from Antonio Giovinazzi in the slower AlphaTauri. The tire, and he's up against the wall through the downhill section of turn 15 into turn 16. He's gone wide. He's gone wide again. Those hard tires are not gripping, and Giovinazzi's finding loads of grip in those soft compound tires. So there you go. He's literally sniffing the rear diffuser of the Toyota, and now he's closing. He's already in the slipstream, and with DRS, it's surely just going to be an easy move. But Watanabe's defending like a lion. He wants to get as many points as he can to salvage something from this race, a race that had so much potential. But Antonio Giovinazzi with the DRS, it's a textbook move. Watanabe tries to fight again, and he goes wide once again. But unlike with Lando Norris, he manages to keep it clear before Antonio Giovinazzi, and he loses one place. And now Watanabe has to defend against Carlos Sainz. And if Antonio Giovinazzi and the slower AlphaTauri can get by the Toyota, then surely the Ferrari will be able to do so, because it is a faster car. Sainz gets the move done. Watanabe's going to fight back down the outside of turn 1. It hasn't been friendly with him in the past, but he's just managed to pip the place and get the move done. But Carlos Sainz is still within DRS. It's imperative that Watanabe gets DRS off Ocon. He does it. He's not in the detection zone. Sainz gets DRS, and now he's closing again. This is a shorter straight, but it's still very long. Enough space for Sainz to make a move. Watanabe's made a few moves around the outside. He dives into the inside, leaving enough space. He squeezes Sainz towards the wall, and that ensures Watanabe at least one more lap of space between him and Sainz. But with 2 laps left, how long can Watanabe keep this defense? Closing in, heading towards penultimate lap. Here comes Carlos Sainz down the inside once again. This should have been a textbook move for him, but Watanabe around the outside, and just it's a bit off the limit, but he just manages to get it across. That's Yuki Tsunoda. Oh no! That's a second DNF in 5 races for Yuki Tsunoda, and a torrid weekend becomes even worse for the young Japanese driver. Going down the long start-finish range, P14. He was still far away from Vettel, and the engine just blows up. Tsunoda, his career was supposed to be revitalized in a better team with Toyota, but it's just been terrible so far.
It's impossible, this car.
Yuki, calm down. Okay, we'll improve for the next.
And Tsunoda will be looking for a better race. Heading on to the final lap now, and Sainz is closing. Watanabe just had to defend like a lion, and as a result, he's not getting any closer to Ocon. And there's no car, unlike with Raikkonen and Schumacher, that can defend from Sainz, and he has to really defend for one last lap. And here he goes. Lewis Hamilton gets his 3rd win of the season with a win here on the back streets of Baku. And here goes Watanabe, a little wide. He's to fight the car. Sainz is just right behind him down the long start finish straight. He's going to get DRS soon. Can he get the move done? This is going to be a photo finish for the final lap. Can Watanabe secure an extra point, or is he going to lose a point to the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz? And Watanabe just crosses the line to get it done. And Carlos Sainz is going to be quite frustrated with that result. But Watanabe, after a terrible, terrible run this weekend, with his race fortunes completely turned on his head, surely he's going to take what he can get. But in terms of the championship, I'm sure that's over, with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen completing the top 2, and Sergio Perez making it a Red Bull 2-3. So with Valtteri Bottas floundering in this race, the Red Bulls are surely going to climb in the constructors. Lance Stroll gets P4, repeating that form we saw at the beginning of the season after that podium in Monaco. Giovinazzi and Gasly get a double points finish for AlphaTauri. At least Antonio Giovinazzi's first for the season, but Watanabe is going to be very disappointed with the pace that he showed in practice and in qualifying. He should have been further up the order, but however, he's just further down. The McLarens, with some issues out of their control, were not able to capitalize on these opportunities of their pace. And Watanabe is still down in P5, but Valtteri Bottas, his championship campaign is also floundering. Tsunoda goes down the order after another DNF, and Toyota Racing gets pipped by Aston Martin to 3rd in the constructors with a terrible points turnaround for the Toyota team. Here goes Lewis Hamilton. He's really gunning for that 8th World Championship, and Max Verstappen is challenging him. We've got a scintillating title fight on our hands as we head next to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix, and hopefully you can join us for another cracking race. But for now, that's it from us. Goodbye.